Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon, to be fancy about it. Welcome. Thanks for being here. My name is Alan Cox. Let's see what we can do today, shall we? Say hi to Bam Bam Bill Squire. He's right over there.
Yo, creepy hugs, and there will be justice in murder.
Justice in Murder.
Cambria. Yeah.
Was that last night?
That's one of their songs.
Right.
Yeah, that they played an album all the way through, and I didn't.
Justice in Murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great song, great album. The album is No World for Tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And they played the album all the way through, which I love.
So how many songs? An entire Coheed album is probably like 90 minutes long?
It's about an hour long.
Hour long, okay.
Yeah, an hour long. Like about 11 or 12 songs.
Is that a concept album?
I mean, they all kind of are.
Are they?
Except for one, I think. Maybe their newest one's not, but I know one's not a concept album. The rest of them are all kind of all tied together as a concept album. But fantastic.
It was a good time.
Show.
Good show?
Great show. Great show.
Did you get to see Deafheaven?
I caught a little bit of Deafheaven. Not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not really my jam, but people were loving them.
Sure.
But it's a great. I mean, they put on a good show. It was just not my kind of. A little screamy for me.
Not your vibe.
Yeah.
I understand. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like any music. It's an acquired taste.
Exactly.
Speaking of acquired tastes, Poundcake is back in Studio G.
Afternoon, white people. Hello.
Listen, if you set it up for me, I got to spike it over the net.
I appreciate that.
What's that?
Said I appreciate
Of course. Happy to help. If you'd like to join us telephonically, I'd love to talk to you. Why not? I assume. What do I know? 216-578-1007, 800-348-1007. You can text me if you like. That number is 35192. AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch the show live if you're so inclined. If you listen on the iHeartRadio app, always leave us messages there. We had our inaugural Alan Cox Show night on the Cleveland Funny Bus last night, which was a total blast. So I hope that you'll be able to join us again. We're doing it every Wednesday in May. Bill is going to be your host next Wednesday. You go to funnybus.net for those tickets. They do go quickly. But boy, was it a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah?
I learned so much. You know, Julia Mary, a lovely, very funny comic who was in here the other day to kind of talk to us about it, was our tour guide last night. And I was just kind of there to glad hand or whatever and jump in every so often. But boy, you talk about being a tourist in your own city. I learned so many things on that tour about Cleveland that I didn't even know.
Well, I don't want you to give them all away because obviously we want people to go on the tour. But
Right.
What's one thing that you didn't know that you learned on that tour?
They have at Burke Lakefront Airport, they have a Females of Aviation exhibit.
Oh.
It's probably a 16 square foot thing, but
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
not very small.
still, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I did
So
not
many
know that
little things, you know. Of course, part of the tour, we end up downtown here and going right by iHeart Cleveland. And we waved. We waved to our studio, even though we weren't in here. But no, it was a lot of fun. Started and ended at Collision Bend there in the Flats, which I had never been to before. So it was my, I popped my Collision Bend cherry. And, of course, everybody down there is very, very nice. But
Collision Bend's great.
that Cleveland Funny Bus is a lot of fun. We had a great crowd.
How did Julia do?
She did great.
She texted me immediately before the show. She's like, "What did Alan say?" But I'm like, "Well, we'll talk about it on the show." And
No, she did great.
Very funny, and she knew her stuff.
You can tell that she has been doing that for a minute because, well, listen, Intense Randy was on the bus, okay?
Of course.
And once Randy is part of something, it's the Randy show, and he doesn't quite understand that, like, there's other people and it's whatever. So I love Randy. He's harmless, but poor Julia ended up having to kind of play the role of school marm occasionally, right? Where she's like, dude, we're all in on this thing together. And, you know, she was, at least towards the front of the tour, spending an inordinate amount of time having to clap back at Randy, who was in the back of the bus. But once everybody got, you know, Randy's the kind of guy that kind of sucks all the air out of the room, right? So it's like an airlock. Once you get acclimated to Intense Randy, then you can kind of kick back and have a good time. But other than that, it was great. We had a lot of fun, a lot of people I hadn't met before, a couple of people I had met before. But anyway, we're doing that every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. And I hosted the first one. Bill will host next week. And I'll be back to do some other ones. But it's a lot of fun. So while you were over at Coheed, I was learning about this city I've called home for 13 and a half years. And still getting, because I don't, I'll go out occasionally. But come on, man. There's always something to learn. What?
That was just a little hiccup.
Oh, I thought Poundcake was starting to say something.
No, I had a little hiccup because I had some drinks last night, and I think I still got it. I've had an eventful 24 hours because I went straight from the show, got my thing going over at East End, and then went right from that to Coheed, and then got up this morning and did an interview with the drummer from Bare Naked Ladies. So I've just been going, and had some pops in between, especially at the Coheed show because I wasn't driving. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some. And I rocked out. I haven't like headbanged that much in a long time. And I was waking up. I'm like, I didn't drink that much last night. I'm not hungover. I'm just exhausted because I actually like danced and, moved around a lot for that concert.
Is there any video evidence that any fans might have of Bill Squire headbanging at the Coheed show?
Not that I know of, because I feel like a lot of people.
Well, if you do, you better come correct.
If you have it, send it. But I don't know if anybody was even really aware of my presence.
Well, when you get home and your ears are still ringing, it was a good show.
It was a great show.
My ears were ringing all this past weekend.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've had a good weekend. And today, it couldn't be a nicer day outside. I was doing my pre-show lap. I don't really do those as frequently anymore because, usually it's pretty chilly. What a day.
It's perfect. We were in the backyard today. It's great.
There has got to be a way. I pitched them years and years ago. I said, there's got to be a way. We can do a live show on a flatbed truck. There has to be a way, like an old Dokken video. There's got to be a way that we can do this. With all of the modern technology available to us at our disposal as the world's #1 digital company, there's got to be a way that we can do that. On a day like today, we get a truck. We do this. We're just driving around town, doing the show on the back of a flatbed truck table like a roving road show. Why can't we do that?
That would be incredible.
Oh, my God.
We should be able to make that happen.
Well, right. Anywho.
My dad's got the trucks. We got trucks.
We got the trucks taken care of. We've got transpo.
They're a little dirty, but they're,
That's all right.
We can use it.
We're not fancy. Let me take a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192 to give me their